So we have this little guy here, which is the metal one. We're going to use this in our project. It's stainless steel, so it's not going to rust. It's going to last a long time without wearing down. This was a replacement screen door track wheel that I got. You can get a little kit of them. They're $5 at a hardware store, and you get 2 of them with it, which is what you need. So that's perfect. The alternatives that you can use are, this is like a little plastic pulley. It's actually a clothesline pulley. You can get it at a hardware store for about 99 cents, $1. $1.99 I think is the most expensive I've ever seen them. You can find them across America in every backyard. There's lots of people who have these. The only thing is it is plastic. It can start wearing down. The plastic has a tendency to not take heat well. So the other thing is friction. The friction of the line in the plastic can create heat, and this heat can actually start to kind of gunk it up, and your line can actually stick to the plastic, I've heard some people online say. So that's one reason I wanted to stay away from plastic for this project, but if you're in a pinch, you know, anything does. So, and then the other alternative is a completely fabricated pulley from scratch, and the way you're going to have to do that is either using this pretty easy tool called a hole saw. You can get them very cheap. This is a, I believe, 2.5 inch hole saw I used. And what that did is I went on my red oak, which is a nice hard wood. It's going to stand up a long time. And I got this kind of little wheel. And the nice thing is, the hole saw has a drill bit in the center that starts the drilling process. And that's going to give you a nice little hole for your pulley to sit on your bolt on your limb and spin. The only other disadvantage of the wood that you don't have pre-made is a groove for your string. Now let me go ahead and grab this rat tail file. And the reason why it's called rat tail file is it kind of looks like a rat tail. Now there's 2 kinds of rat tail files out there. There's ones that are non-tapered and tapered ones. I'm going to use a non-tapered one because I want my groove to be even in size. The tapered one is going to start fatter and then get smaller, and that can, I've seen just some people online that had issues where it kind of doesn't go quite well. And all you have to do, lock the wheel in a vise or hold it in your hand and take some time, and you're just going to run the rat tail down the middle. And over time what that's going to do is you're going to create a nice deep groove all the way around that matches just like these pulleys here. And so what you want to do is just keep going until you have a nice groove all the way around. And that's a pretty easy alternative method, and you can use a lot of different kinds of woods. Obviously a hardwood's going to be lasting longer, but you know, you find whatever you can on the ground and go. Let's go ahead and move on into some alternatives for your bowstring outside of paracord. All right, so we got our paracord here that we already went over earlier. And I explained how you want to make sure to stay away from these cheaper paracords bracelets that are not using actually very high grade paracord. These are usually the ones you find for like 50 to 90 cents in your hardware store. You want to get the more reputable ones online. If you do use paracord, I try to use a 550 kind of military grade. It's going to stand up longer to the abrasion. It has a higher hold, so it's going to be able to stand up to higher draw weights as you go up into bows. Now an alternative, if you don't want to use paracord, a really cool thing that I've been starting to take on me with hikes and stuff is iron laces. They're these really kind of cool laces for boots, and they're pretty much guaranteed not to snap. The makers started on Kickstarter, and they just kind of got some backing and started these prototypes, and now they're turning into this big company. They're pretty strong, and I haven't heard of anyone actually being able to break them from just everyday use, and it pretty much stops the issue you have when you tighten up your boots and they snap. So the good thing about that is if they can stand the resistance of always going in through boot laces and not snapping, that means they can stand up to repeated use on a bow. So the great thing about the iron laces is they are thinner, so they're not going to get caught up on the nocks. You're not going to, because you don't want your nock too tight on your string. That's just going to make some issues when you're trying to release. The other great thing about them is you can have, I always carry a pair of extra laces for my boots when I'm out. So I've always got an extra pair of those iron laces in my bag already. And the other great thing is if you do need to use them for an alternative use, you can just take them off your boots and use them that way as well. You know, you might want to go with an hour or 2 without a boot lace if you're really hungry and you need a bowstring. So Now that we've gone over a few alternative ways that you can make this, we're going to go ahead and go to our next video, where we're going to give you the step-by-step of making the bow. We're going to show you our version of it. You're more than welcome to go ahead and make any adjustments and share it in the comments below if you found a different way of making it that you want to share with others. Let's go ahead and go over there, and I'll see you there. Alright, so we're going to start our actual steps. This is going to be part 3 of our little project 1. And what I did for my first step is I just went ahead and took my piece of scrap wood I found here. It can be 2x4, whatever you have around. Just make sure it's kind of nice for your hand. Even this one's a little bit too big for my hand.